Hi, my name is Nicole Etchard and I am co-founder and co-CEO of NESsT. NESsT is an impact-first investor that invests in enterprises that empower vulnerable communities to access quality jobs. In our 24-year history, we have supported over 15,000 entrepreneurs, invested in 200 companies, and provided over 60,000 quality jobs to vulnerable communities in emerging market countries. Now, NESsT has always measured its impact. We feel it's important to do this as an impact-first investor. However, it wasn't until recently that we decided to bring a gender lens to our measurement. Why did we do this? Because we knew that it was important for the portfolio companies to become more gender inclusive and gender equitable. And also because we knew that by so doing, they would improve their business performance.
Hello, I'm Natalie Figueroa and I oversee communications at NESsT. NESsT is a nonprofit fund manager and impact investor that operates in Latin America and Central and Eastern Europe. And we support social enterprises that are empowering their communities to access quality jobs. Today, I'm going to be sharing 4 steps that a fund manager or leader can take if they want to integrate gender lens investing into their fund and or organization. These 4 steps that I'm going to share were the result of a pilot that we ran thanks to the support of ANDE and IDRC. We're really excited for you to learn more and for you to share your feedback after so that we can iterate as a sector in ensuring gender equity across our investments and across the finance world. The first step of integrating gender lens investing into your fund and or organization is to design the pilot with a subset of your portfolio companies. In this process, you will be asking them about existing practices as well as surveying their employees, the people that they support, and also learning about what keeps them from taking their gender equity activities to the next level. The second step of integrating a gender lens investing framework into your organization is to actually survey the subset of the portfolio that you identified in the first step of the process. That means that you will be talking to staff, entrepreneurs, employees, and even portfolio managers that work directly with the companies in the portfolio. This is a great opportunity to not only collect quantitative data that you may be missing already, but to actually collect qualitative data as well that can deepen the next step of this process. The third step of integrating gender lens investing into your organization is to synthesize all of the information that you've learned through this pilot so far and using that to develop a framework with your existing systems, operations, and activities. The goal here is to start with what you have and try to make what you are already measuring more gender inclusive. This means measuring quantitative and qualitative data and not stopping because you can't do it all right from the start. The goal is just to get started and just work to improve from your previous goals. So if you can only measure 1 in this first half of the year, work towards measuring 2 different metrics by the end of the year, and then 3 by the next quarter. In doing so, you get started as soon as possible and start sourcing learnings that can help your organization and your portfolio companies to become more gender inclusive. Now that you have designed your pilot with a subset of your portfolio, surveyed that subset of your portfolio, and developed a framework using the qualitative, quantitative data points and adding that to your existing systems, the 4th step really is about dreaming. It's about figuring out what is left to be done and how many resources do you need to get there, whether that is advisory support, funding, and or tools. So this is really where you start to think about how do you build upon the learnings of your process so far. And in this final step, we are also really looking towards our peers. So the more of us that build these pilots into our organizations and publish the results, the more learnings that we can offer, and the faster we'll go in building gender inclusive practices in investing.
I would like to share 3 takeaways that will hopefully help you as you begin to plan the development of your own GLI framework. The first takeaway is that this does not have to be complex. Start with where you are in terms of your measurement system and add a few indicators that you believe and that your stakeholders believe will inform you to make needed changes. Now, the skeptics will say, no, you need an objective, perfect system with external consultants and so forth. But this is not the case. This is an iterative process. You'll learn by doing and make small improvements. And even these small steps will go very far in improving your impact. The second takeaway that I would like to share with you is to make sure that you listen to the entrepreneurs in your portfolio, understanding their apprehensions about bringing a gender lens to their portfolio companies. We did this, and we learned that although the companies in our portfolio are very committed to gender inclusion and gender equity, they also feel that they don't have the core competence needed to bring this about. So if you're going to go down this road, make sure that you have some simple tools and simple templates to share with the entrepreneurs. And so they'll begin to feel empowered to do this process. If you set realistic milestones and expectations, you will be sure to succeed. And the third takeaway that I would like to share with you is not to bite off more than you can chew. What I mean by this, in the case of NESsT, is that we are a fund that invests in companies that are not exclusively women-led or women-focused. We are a hybrid fund that invests in companies that have a wide spectrum of employment and supplier models in different sectors. So we decided that most important for us, was to measure the gender inclusion aspects of quality jobs between men and women that are working for or supplying to these companies. We were advised that we should also look at the ethnic dimensions, the age, the disabilities, LGBTQ. And although we are committed to doing this in the future, and we are capturing some aspects of this now, we wanted to make sure that we would keep the process simple so that the entrepreneurs would feel empowered to be protagonists in the process and later on add additional variables. So an important takeaway is to try not to do too much, do what you're doing the best way you can, and then in the future add additional indicators that will help you build your theory of change.